Franz Kafka's The Metamorphosis, first published in 1915, is a surreal novella about isolation, identity, and the fragile nature of human relationships. The story follows Gregor Samsa, a traveling salesman who awakens one morning to discover that he has inexplicably transformed into a giant insect-like creature. Rather than focusing on how or why the transformation occurs, Kafka explores its devastating effects on Gregor and his family. Kafka's literary style combines absurdism, psychological realism, dark humor, and surreal imagery, describing extraordinary events in a calm and matter-of-fact manner. This contrast creates the unsettling atmosphere that has become closely associated with the term Kafkaesque. The novella explores themes of alienation, family obligation, identity, isolation, guilt, dehumanization, work, and the relationship between personal worth and usefulness. The Metamorphosis remains important for its powerful portrayal of an individual becoming increasingly separated from society and even from those closest to him, raising enduring questions about dignity, belonging, and what determines a person's value. The story starts with Gregor Samsa waking up in his bedroom and realizing that his body has changed into that of a giant insect. His room looks ordinary, his work samples are still there, the picture of the woman in furs still hangs on the wall, and rain still taps against the window. But Gregor himself is no longer ordinary at all. He tries to roll over and sleep again, as if he can escape the problem by ignoring it, but his new body will not cooperate. Instead of panicking first about what he has become, Gregor thinks about work. He is a traveling salesman, and his job exhausts him. Constant travel leaves him lonely, and his employer treats him harshly. Gregor would like to quit, but his parents owe money, and he feels responsible for paying off their debt. When he notices that he has overslept and missed his train, he worries more about disappointing his boss than about the impossible condition of his body. His mother calls through the door, reminding him to get up. Gregor answers, but his voice has changed so much that his family becomes alarmed. His father and sister Grete also come to the door and urge him to unlock it. Then the office manager arrives from Gregor's workplace to find out why he has not appeared. Gregor struggles awkwardly out of bed, falls to the floor, and tries to explain himself, but the sounds coming from him no longer seem fully human. The office manager grows suspicious and critical, suggesting that Gregor's recent work has not been strong and hinting at rumors involving company money. Gregor, still thinking like an employee desperate to protect his position, tries to reassure him. His mother defends him as a loyal worker, while Grete cries nearby and eventually goes to fetch help. Gregor finally manages to unlock the door with his mouth and opens it. The sight horrifies everyone. The office manager retreats in terror. Gregor's mother faints, and his father breaks down in shock. Gregor tries to speak about his job and beg the manager to defend him at work, but no one can respond to him as Gregor anymore. When he attempts to follow the manager, his father drives him back into his room with a cane and newspaper. Gregor injures himself squeezing through the doorway, and his father forces him inside before slamming the door. That evening, Gregor wakes to find milk and bread left for him. Milk used to be his favorite, but now it disgusts him. The apartment is quiet, and Gregor begins thinking about what will happen to his family if he can no longer support them. He hides beneath a small sofa and decides he must make his condition as little trouble as possible, even though he has no idea how to live in this new form. Grete becomes the only family member willing to enter his room. At first she is frightened, but she brings him food and notices what he will and will not eat. Fresh food no longer interests him, while spoiled scraps appeal to his insect body. A routine begins. Grete feeds him, cleans after him, and reports to the parents about how much he eats. Gregor spends his days listening through the door, slowly understanding that his family must now find a way to survive without his wages. This realization fills him with shame. He learns that his parents have saved some of the money he gave them, which makes him proud, but it is not enough to support them forever. His father seems too worn down to work. His mother struggles with asthma, and Grete is still young. Gregor also thinks about his bond with Grete. He had planned to send her to music school because of her violin talent, and that dream now feels painfully distant. As time passes, Gregor adjusts to his room. He crawls over the walls and ceiling and finds small pleasures in movement. But he also notices that Grete cannot bear to look at him, so he hides under a sheet whenever she enters. His parents stay away almost completely, though his mother wants to see him. Grete begins to treat herself as the person who understands Gregor best, and this creates tension when she decides his furniture should be removed to give him more space. Gregor is terrified by the idea of losing the last signs of his human life. While Grete and his mother move things, he climbs onto the wall and covers the framed picture of the woman in furs, refusing to let it be taken. His mother sees him, panics, and faints. Grete becomes angry, and Gregor runs into the living room in confusion. When his father returns, he believes Gregor has attacked the mother. The father, now changed by his new job as a bank attendant, seems stronger and more forceful than before. He chases Gregor and throws apples at him. One apple lodges painfully in Gregor's back, leaving a lasting wound. His mother pleads for the father to stop, but the damage is done. Gregor's body is weakened, and his place in the family becomes even more uncertain. After the injury, the family shows a little pity by leaving Gregor's door open at night. From his room, he watches them live their exhausted new lives. His father sleeps in his uniform, his mother sews for extra money, and Grete studies while working as a sales clerk. The family sells valuables and hires a rough cleaning woman instead of keeping their old maid. Gregor sees that everyone is changing under the pressure of his existence. The care Grete once gave him fades. She cleans less carefully, feeds him with less attention, and seems more burdened by him every day. Gregor stops eating much and barely sleeps. He swings between guilt that he cannot help his family and anger that they are abandoning him emotionally. The cleaning woman, unlike the others, is not afraid to look at him. She even teases and confronts him, treating him less like a family tragedy and more like an unpleasant curiosity. To earn money, the family rents rooms to 3 boarders. Because the boarders demand order and cleanliness, extra furniture and clutter are shoved into Gregor's room. His room becomes a storage space, showing how far he has fallen in the family's priorities. He still crawls through the mess, but even that small activity leaves him tired. One night, the door to Gregor's room is left open while the boarders are present. Grete plays the violin in the parlor, and the music draws Gregor out. For a moment, he feels deeply connected to his sister again. He imagines bringing her into his room and telling her that he always planned to support her musical future. But when the boarders see him, they are disgusted and announce that they will leave without paying rent. This becomes the breaking point. Grete tells her parents they must stop thinking of the creature as Gregor. To her, if Gregor truly understood them, he would leave so they could live again. Gregor hears this and quietly returns to his room. He no longer fights for a place among them. Through the night, he lies still and thinks that he must disappear for their sake. By dawn, he dies. The cleaning woman finds Gregor's body in the morning. His family gathers, and Grete notices how thin he has become. Instead of mourning deeply, the family begins to feel released. The father throws out the boarders, and the family writes to their employers, explaining that they will not come to work that day. The cleaning woman says she has taken care of the body, but they barely react. Then the family leaves the apartment together and rides into the countryside. For the first time in a long while, they discuss their future with hope. They realize their finances are better than they had believed, and decide to move to a smaller, more suitable apartment. As they look at Grete, her parents notice that she has grown into an attractive young woman and begin thinking about finding her a husband. The story ends with Grete standing and stretching as the family moves forward, while Gregor's life and sacrifice are quietly left behind.